Have you ever met someone who seemed to understand everything, yet struggled to connect with people? Someone who noticed tiny details everyone else ignored, but somehow felt misunderstood. You might assume that having an extremely high IQ makes life easier. That intelligence automatically leads to happiness, confidence, or success. But psychology tells a much stranger story, because in many cases, the very mind that solves difficult problems can quietly create problems of its own. And by the end of this video, you may never look at intelligence the same way again. A lone figure looking out a rainy window. Most people think intelligence is simply the ability to answer difficult questions. But psychology sees something deeper. Many people with exceptionally high IQs don't just think more. They think differently. Their minds constantly search for patterns. Conversations become puzzles. Decisions become calculations. Even simple moments can become endless mental loops, abstract web of interconnected thoughts. Imagine sitting in a cafe. Someone tells a simple story. Most people hear the words, but your mind immediately notices inconsistencies, hidden meanings, future consequences, and questions nobody else seems interested in asking. Sometimes this helps. Sometimes it creates distance, because while everyone else enjoys the moment, your mind is still analyzing it. Over time, this can affect friendships, relationships, even the way you see yourself. You may begin wondering, why does nobody think about these things? Or perhaps, why can't I stop thinking? At first, this feels like intelligence. Eventually, it can feel exhausting. But this isn't necessarily a flaw. It's often the consequence of how certain cognitive systems process information. And that changes everything. A person sitting alone while people laugh in the background. Psychology suggests that exceptionally intelligent people often process larger amounts of information before reaching conclusions. That sounds useful, because it is. But every adaptation comes with trade-offs. A microscope reveals details invisible to the naked eye, yet it also loses sight of the bigger picture. The brain works similarly. The same mental system that helps detect hidden patterns can also detect problems that don't actually exist. The goal of intelligence was never peace. Its original purpose was prediction, to reduce uncertainty, to prepare for danger. Sometimes, that system simply becomes too active. Microscopes slowly zooming into tiny details. One useful mental model is this. Imagine your brain as a search engine. Most brains stop searching once they find a reasonable answer, but highly analytical minds often keep searching, even after finding one. Endless search results scrolling. Cognitive psychologists call this deeper analytical processing, combined with higher openness to experience. The brain naturally explores more possibilities. Neuroscience also suggests that networks involved in planning and internal thinking often remain active longer during reflection. This is connected to what researchers call the default mode network, a brain system involved in imagination, memory, future thinking, and self-reflection. When balanced, it fuels creativity. When overused, it can create overthinking. So intelligence itself isn't the problem. The difficulty often comes from never allowing the search engine to stop. Brain network glowing softly. So how do people with highly analytical minds prevent intelligence from becoming mental noise? The answer isn't to think less. It's to think differently. Give your brain an ending point. Choose a time limit before making decisions. Psychologically, this reduces analysis paralysis by limiting endless cognitive loops. Imagine deciding which laptop to buy. Instead of researching for 3 weeks, you decide you'll choose after 2 hours. Your brain learns that uncertainty can exist without danger. Timer counting down beside a notebook. 2. Separate thinking from observing. Spend 5 minutes simply noticing your surroundings, without solving anything. Behavioral psychology shows that shifting attention away from internal analysis reduces excessive self-focused processing. You're teaching your brain that not every thought requires action. Leaves moving slowly in the wind. Write unfinished thoughts. The brain treats incomplete problems like open tabs. Writing them down signals that the information has been safely stored. This reduces cognitive load and frees working memory. Instead of replaying the same idea all evening, your mind finally relaxes. Notebook with one unfinished sentence. Spend time with people who think differently. Not everyone processes information the same way. Some people balance analysis with intuition. Others focus on emotion. Exposure to different thinking styles reduces cognitive rigidity. It reminds your brain that there are many valid ways to understand reality. A diverse group having a calm conversation. Think of intelligence like a powerful telescope. It allows you to see farther than most people. But telescopes aren't meant to stay pointed at the sky forever. Sometimes, you need to lower the lens and simply experience the world directly. The healthiest mind isn't the one that notices everything. It's the one that knows what deserves attention. Telescope lowering toward a peaceful landscape. If you often think more deeply than the people around you, that doesn't automatically make you wiser. And it certainly doesn't make you better. It simply means your brain processes the world in a particular way. Intelligence becomes valuable, not when it finds every possible answer, but when it knows which questions are worth asking. Because sometimes, the greatest sign of a powerful mind is knowing when to let the mind become quiet. Empty room filled with warm morning sunlight.